Hello everyone, you've got Marcel. It's great to see you here. This video is going to be a breakdown of the way that men and women perceive their type. By type I mean the character or appearance of those that they may be interested in within a romantic context. Perhaps only physically in some cases. You guys know what I'm talking about. The way that the concept itself is perceived differently by men or women. And finally, that I don't actually believe women have a type. At least not the average woman. You're probably thinking, what? Most women don't actually have a type when it comes to men? And to think that, the average guy asking women out hears that you're not my type or that kind of equivalent statement probably every day. So let's start off with some of the more interesting comments that I've heard over my years as far as women telling me I'm not their type or in regards to their types. Some of the things that I've been told in the past is, well, race is a huge one. I'm the wrong race for one reason or another. Most any woman that I've ever heard say that wound up dating somebody that was the same race as me, so it was a lie. On that note, in fact, I was told once that my race was a problem because of the color of my genitals, supposedly. Meaning that she preferred a different race because the color down below was more appealing to her. I'm being serious. This was a legitimate thing was told to me. I guess she preferred brown snake, light meat or dark. Religion came up quite a bit as an excuse. Sometimes it's not even that you needed to be the same. Sometimes you had to be a different religion. Kind of an odd scenario, but it does pop up sometimes. Depends on whether or not they're trying to go along with their families or break free of them. I had one of them tell me one time that she would only date massively huge Mexican men, like in the 250-pound plus range, which was very odd because she was extremely fit and petite, and I'm pretty sure she was Colombian, so maybe the skin tone matched, I don't know. But the mystery was solved when I met her father. You guessed it, 250 plus pound Mexican man. Come to think of it, the times that we had talked, she described him to the T, except that it was supposed to be her future man, so. But I'm sure a lot of people have heard that before, that people pick in preference somebody that looks or reminds them of their parents in a lot of ways. There's been a lot of psychological studies on that. I don't want to get too tied up in old stories. I've heard a lot of retarded lines as to why I wasn't her type or that she wasn't my type or for whatever reason we wouldn't work, all the different crap that comes out of their mouth. And then, a few months later, you see her dating a guy exactly like the one that she turned down. Probably even on a lower quality, like lower on the market value, at least from an outside viewpoint. I always gotta kind of roll my eyes a bit too when I hear someone that has never had a boyfriend or never dated before, supposedly, claim to have a type. It's like saying you don't like hot dogs if you've never had a hot dog. Of course, that came up more often when I was younger, talking to women that hadn't been out with a whole bunch of guys already, but it still came up. So to kind of skip to the end here, the spoiler alert, when a woman says a guy's not her type, she's lying. Not in regards that she can't actually have a type per se, because she certainly can, but it really comes down to the difference in the way that men and women think. When either gender says the word type, they actually mean two different things. See, when a woman says, for whatever reason, that a guy is not her type, what she's actually saying is he doesn't feel like her type. He doesn't feel right for her, or in some cases, it does come up, she's just not interested. And it's the politest way that she can put it out to him, that she just doesn't feel that way about him. Well, that's why women are so susceptible to like gold digger pranks. You see that kind of crap a lot. It's pretty easy to flash cash or a nice car, and suddenly the guy feels more right to her than he did before. But to be honest, I don't really care for gold digger pranks. And the reason why, at least from my perspective, they're really obvious. Of course the woman is going to change her perspective on a man when he comes up showing that he has higher marketplace value than she thought. It's too easy of a setup. It's hard to describe an equivalent to that, but it would be like a woman walking up all skanky looking and haggard and nasty and asking a guy out or trying to flirt with him, and the guy's like, it's nice meeting you, I gotta go. And then she pulls off a wig and a mask and she's like, see, I'm actually a supermodel now. What about now? Would you go out with me now? And the guy's like, well, I mean, Sure, yeah, why not? That wouldn't be such a big deal, but men aren't the ones trying to hide their nature. Men are upfront about what they are and how they think. Seems like women in society are the ones trying to pretend that they're something that they're not. So when you see these videos pointing out female nature in its raw form, like, see guys, there it is, women being women. Everybody's shocked and awe and laughs, but in reality, it's not that big a surprise. That's just their nature. I think in a whole, they want to appear more in control of their desires, more grounded and less shallow, just innocent little angels. But through my observations, they're actually more shallow than men. Now, for all I know, they might, when they do those pranks, they might, address 100 women before they get one that actually falls for it. Sure, I have no idea, but most of that stuff, if a woman tried to pull a trick like that on me, I'd be pretty keen to tell that something was off. One of the best tricks that I'd ever seen was on a show. I hope it was real. It was hilarious. A guy dropped what looked like a huge wad of cash next to a woman he was speaking to, just a few feet away, and then asked her whether or not it was hers. And of course she immediately said, yes, it was mine. And he says, oh, bullcrap. Picks it up real quick and says, how much is it? And she says, 2,000? And he starts counting it right in front of her, and he says, no, it's actually like 3,600. I just wanted to see whether or not you would be honest, and you didn't. Well, the woman had spent the last 5 or 10 minutes turning him down, but the minute she saw all that money, all of a sudden she was super interested, realizing the guy had 3,600 bucks in his wallet. Starts saying stuff like, oh, well, no, I really get what you were trying to do with that. You've made me think, and hey, maybe we could trade numbers and talk and stuff. The whole time she's just drooling at that money. I like the fact that the gold digger prank portion of it was hidden in an honesty test. Very well played. So the big picture with all of this is, if the guy is doing everything right, or even some things right, at least a blue pill guy anyway, not a MGTOW, he doesn't ever have to ask out a woman again. They're all gonna come to him. That's the dirty secret that all of these, coaches and to some extent pickup artists, I don't got anything against pickup artists, of course, but all of these guys that are trying to teach other men how to approach women that's doing it all wrong. See, the majority of them don't have a type, and honestly don't want to be approached in the first place, except by the guy that they're actually interested in. And when they really are interested in someone, it's gonna be painfully obvious that they are. She's gonna find a way to have her ass in his face within a matter of minutes, metaphorically or literally speaking. In which case, when she's wiggling around in his field of view, the best thing any guy should do is completely ignore her. That's one of the things, when I say ignore women completely, just do the best you can not to talk to them, not to approach them, give them any attention. It doesn't matter if the guy listening is a MGTOW, if he's purple-pilled, blue-pilled. No matter what the perspective is, ignoring them is the best answer. Because by approaching them, especially on a romantic level, a blue-pilled guy is doing the very opposite of what would actually get him into her good graces, into dating her. And for a red-pilled guy, somebody like us, it's going to be the best advice just to avoid drama. Which, honestly, my privacy and my comfort and avoidance of drama has become much more valuable to me than a 10-minute lay. But I gather that some people are not quite in that mental state right now. Not everybody has made that decision or that realization. Though to bring it back on topic, as something of a summary, for men, and I'm saying most men, the type that a guy is interested in is going to be something tangible, something more realistic that you can point at and say, there it is, big hips, pretty eyes, plush lips, rockin' thighs. Not to sound poetic here, I'm sorry. A good personality would just be icing on the cake. Good luck finding that nowadays. But for women specifically, their interests are almost entirely emotionally based, which makes them fluid. Sure, anybody can change their opinion, but guys tend to be a lot more rigid. This may also be one of the reasons why, feminists will have such an issue with people not just following along this concept they have about, I'm fat and beautiful, I can be as ugly and nasty as I want and I'm still sexy. Nope. You see, these women were brainwashed. They were tricked by society or by other feminists that by thinking that they're pretty and beautiful, that they are in the eyes of anyone else. See, the thing is, when a beautiful woman looks into the mirror and sees a gelatinous land whale in the reflection and decides to starve herself to the point of hospitalization, we call that a condition. And we do our best to find them medical treatment to help them work their way through it to where they see the truth in the mirror. But when that gelatinous land whale looks in the mirror and sees a supermodel while proceeding to shove more cake in her face until she's hospitalized, she must be empowered. Frankly, I really don't see a difference. All in all, by recognizing that the average woman's interests are entirely emotionally based, we can better understand what they really mean when they say, "Sorry, you're not my type." By knowing that they don't actually know what a type is, they don't have one, at least not in the same way that a guy understands it. And as men, it's probably best just not to ever have to ask them again. I hope you found this interesting. I want to hear down below whether or not you agree, disagree, think I'm full of crap. I want to hear it. Until next time, this has been Marcel.